Now, moving on to the most interesting or the most dangerous ever seen India under the conflict of Punjab. The conflict of Punjab is that Punjab was a region where it has experienced the untold history of India and where we lost the entire dynamic lady of India, that is Indira Gandhi. Now, let us see first one. The major factor of dissatisfaction for them was that the Punjabi people were asking for a separate new capital or for Chandigarh to declare itself as a capital of the Punjab, not as a common capital. And they need a special share in the Bakranangal waters. They are asking for a better share of waters for their fields from the Bakranangal project, which was administered by the union government. Later, they are also asking for a majority of the Sikhs recruitment in the army so that they can get their livelihood comfortable for them, and asking a major share in the army. In 1978, the present democratic elected government of Srimoni Akali Dal or SCAD short form, which made an agreement with the Janata Party or recommendations to Janata Party in 1978 asking the major demands of the Punjab people to be addressed, and it also made a statement that in order to get a perfect picture of true democracy, everybody's voice has to be heard and the necessary arrangements to be made that everybody feels satisfied and comfortable. But coming into the reality, in 1980, the Congress party has come into power. Srimoni Akali Dal lost its hold. But in order to maintain its stance, and there was a conflict between Akali Dal and the Congress during the period of elections, and it went into its peaks, like it resulted in the mass agitations, killing of each other, then protesting against each other, rallies and all. In this course of time, we got an emergence of a new leader of the Sikh community, that is Mr. Bhindran Wale. Bhindran Wale declared that he is going to fight for a separate state for Punjab and declared the name of the separate state of the Punjab, that is Khalistan. So, Punjab people or the Sikh community people started to demand a separate new state called Khalistan, and the leader of them was Bhindran Wale. Bhindran Wale was a main key factor in this process of the Sikh community. He, in 1984 period, it was at the peak of this moment of time that he occupied the Golden Temple. Golden Temple, or the temple which is located in the Amritsar. So, in order to evacuate these Sikh militants from the Golden Temple and in order to secure or save the other non-Muslims or the non-Sikh community people to ensure the security for them, the Indira Gandhi in 1984 allowed the Navy or the Army, especially the Army people, to come into force under the name of the Operation Blue Star. In the Operation Blue Star, she issued the signature. As soon as she issued the signature to kill or entry into the Golden Temple of the military, which raised the anger of the Sikhs against the Mrs. Gandhi. So, in her own cabinet or in the security personnel, we have a person of a Sikh community who shotted her immediately, and Gandhi fell down in her own office steps. This later resulted in the mass killings of the Sikh community people in late 1984, for which recently in 2005 the Indian Prime Minister Mr. Manmohan Singh felt ashamed and he bowed down his head asking for the sorry for the entire nation and make ensure that in future this kind of actions or any kind of this unsecularistic feelings should not be repeated at any point of time. And coming back to our lesson point of view, like the Congress and Sri Akali Dal made an agreement with Rajiv Gandhi's initiative, came to a compromise formula and then formed the government here, where the Congress lost the elections. But immediately when the Sri Akali Dal came to power, Longowala was assassinated by the militant groups. Now again it turned into a violent situation where the people can't control the situations. So from the new capital incident, it emerged into the killing of the people. Finally in 1986, we got another leader in April. His name is Akal Thakat. Akal Thakat also want to form a new state called Khalistan for a separate state of it. So he formed a national group, a militant group, especially their target was to form only and only a separate state for the Sikh community in the Punjab region. Now, they started to move on from the democratic steps to the non-democratic into a militant setup, where there is a criticism that these people are completely fueled by Pakistan. Indian government openly criticized that these agitations or movements are completely fueled and weaponed by the Pakistani government. But in reality what happened is that finally they started to kill the people in larger sections. Only in the year 1991 1,000 people were killed literally, and they started to do kidnappings, assassinations, and to earn more and more money for their militant group to run successfully. In this way, the agitation went on to move further. By 1991 ending, most of the people like journalists, educated people, politicians, common man, doctors, engineers, the common civilians started to dislocate them or disunite themselves from the Sikh community, and they started to feel that these kind of atrocities cannot be bear further. Then the central government has come up with a new initiative by putting it under the presidential rule and strictly suspending the fundamental rights and arresting whomever they feel it is necessary, and it is also justified by the human rights that if the human rights are given to the constitutional rights are granted for them, it could lead further to mislead the other thousands of people may be killed and their rights may be violated. So at that point of time, the government has to take very serious steps. By late 1990s ending, the conditions in the Punjab has come to a normal level where it was a dissatisfaction of the Punjab people for asking for the new capital or their capital to be established for themselves. It went on to a separate state and then to a separate country. Then the leaders were being assassinated, and it finally took on to the stage of the normal scenario where we lost our prime minister, many Sikh leaders were killed, army was incorporated into the Punjab incident, presidential rule was brought. So Punjab's initiative was crucially a very historical phenomena till the later part. I hope now it is in the normal conditions and the normalcy continues for the future also.